From China to Greece to Rome and beyond, there were plenty of games played throughout history that shared similarities with the sport we now call football. But it was during the 19th century in England that the modern game began to take shape. At this time, many different schools and clubs had their own unique set of rules, but they all revolved around kicking a ball. Eventually, in 1863, the Football Association was formed and drew up the first official rules of the game. They established that matches would be 90 minutes long and that a goal would be scored by getting the ball into the other team's net, and thus, the basic format of the modern game was born. Over the next few decades, football spread from England to the rest of the UK and then across Europe and the world. By the start of the 20th century, it had become one of the most popular sports on the planet. Today, FIFA, the international governing body of football, has more than 200 member associations, and the sport is played in almost every country on Earth. In this video, we'll explore the untold story of football. From its humble beginnings in England to its global domination today, we'll look at how the beautiful game conquered the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this unique look at the history of football. So why is football called the beautiful game? Well, it's a question that has been asked by many people over the years. After all, football can be a very brutal sport and doesn't always display much beauty. However, there are a number of reasons why the nickname was given. Firstly, football is a game of skill and athleticism. The best players in the world are able to perform incredible feats of balance, strength, and coordination. Just think of the likes of Ronaldinho, Neymar, and Lionel Messi. They make football look so effortless and graceful. That's why millions of people around the world are obsessed with these players. Secondly, football is a game of tactics and strategy. The best teams in the world are those that are able to outsmart their opponents. They study their rivals and exploit any weaknesses they find. This is what makes football so exciting to watch. There are always different ways to play the game, and new tactics are developed all the time. Finally, football is a game that brings people together. It doesn't matter where you're from or what religion you follow. If you love football, then you are part of a global community. This is why the World Cup is such a special tournament. Every 4 years, people from all over the world come together to celebrate the beautiful game. They support their teams with passion and pride, but they also respect their opponents and the game itself. But the beautiful game has a long and rich history that goes back centuries. We don't know exactly when football originated, but we do know that it was played in ancient China as early as the 2nd century BC. The game was called Cuzhu and was played with a leather ball and 2 goals made out of silk. Cuzhu was more than just a game. It was considered an important part of military training. The soldiers would practice kicking the ball through the silk goals while on horseback. They would also play the game as a form of entertainment. Cuzhu eventually fell out of favor during the 10th century, but it was revived in the 19th century when the Chinese government decided to use it as a way to promote national unity. In ancient Greece, the ancient Greeks loved their sports and they took great pride in their athletic achievements. Football was no exception. In fact, the ancient Greeks played a game very similar to modern-day football. They called it episkairos. Episkairos was played with a round leather ball and 2 teams of 11 players each. The object of the game was to get the ball into your opponent's goal using only your feet. If you scored a goal, you got 3 points. The game was quite violent and there was no off-limits to where the ball could go. This led to some serious injuries and even deaths, but the ancient Greeks didn't seem to mind. They saw it as part of the game. Eventually, the Roman Empire banned episkairos because of the violence, but the game continued to be played in secret. During the Middle Ages, football was often banned by local authorities because it was seen as a dangerous activity. People would get so into the game that they would forget about everything else going on around them. This often led to fights and even riots. Despite this, football continued to be played in secret. People would hide the ball in their clothes and sneak around playing the game. In the 18th century, things started to change. People began to see football as a positive force. They started to organize games and competitions. This is when the modern game really began to take shape. On December 2nd, 1863, the Football Association was founded in England. This was the first time that there was an organization dedicated to the sport. The FA set down the basic rules of football and they also created the first ever professional league. In 1888, the Football League consisted of 12 teams and was sponsored by breweries. Players were paid a salary, and this made football more popular than ever before. People could now make a living playing the sport, and so more and more people wanted to get involved. By the end of the 19th century, football had spread throughout the UK, and it was also becoming popular in other parts of Europe. In 1904, the FIFA World Cup was first played. This is the most prestigious tournament in international football. Teams from all over the world compete against each other to win the coveted trophy. Since then, the World Cup has been held every 4 years, and it just keeps getting bigger and better. Today, football is the most popular sport in the world. It is played in almost every country, and it is watched by billions of people every single day. The Premier League is the most popular domestic competition in the world. Teams like Manchester United and Liverpool have fans all over the globe. One of the biggest stars in the history of football is Pelé. Born in Brazil in 1940, Pelé began playing football at a very young age. He was so talented that he was already playing for the Brazilian national team at the age of 17. Pelé won 3 World Cups with Brazil, and he is the top scorer in the history of the tournament. He also won numerous domestic titles with Santos FC. Pelé is widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. Another legendary player is Diego Maradona. Born in Argentina in 1960, Maradona was a genius both on and off the pitch. He was known for his incredible dribbling skills and his ability to score spectacular goals. Maradona led Argentina to victory in the 1986 World Cup, and he was named Player of the Century by FIFA. There are many other great players who have graced the game of football. Johan Cruyff, Franz Beckenbauer, Alfredo Di Stefano, and Ferenc Puskas, to name just a few. Each of these players brought something unique to the game, and they helped to make it what it is today. Today, football is more popular than ever before. It is played by millions of people around the world, and it is watched by billions. The Premier League is the most popular domestic competition in the world, and the FIFA World Cup is the most watched sporting event on the planet. But it hasn't all been plain sailing. In recent years, there have been a number of scandals involving match fixing and betting. There have also been concerns over the treatment of migrant workers who have been brought in to build stadiums for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Despite this, football continues to unite people from all walks of life. It is a game that transcends boundaries and brings people together. No matter where you're from or what religion you follow, if you love football, then you are part of a global community. This is what makes the beautiful game so special. It is a game that has the power to unite people like nothing else can. Whether you are a die-hard fan or a casual observer, there is no denying the global domination of football. The future of the beautiful game looks bright, and it will continue to capture the hearts and minds of people around the world for generations to come. What do you think? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this.